cool. The video right here. Awesome.
Yeah, the green bars are maximum, so I think we're not going to have
Cool.
no issues, hopefully.
Okay. Oh, dang, I'm red now. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm green. All right. I brought up some verses. The Antichrist. I mean, of course, there are a bunch of them that I don't have here, but look at. So, and some to think about. The spirit of Antichrist is he who denies the Father and the Son. This is the Antichrist, he who does not denies the Father and the Son. 1 John 4:3 says, this is the spirit of Antichrist. Every spirit that does not confess Jesus is not from God. Okay, that's the ESV. I don't like the ESV.
Yeah, I like the King James.
Yeah, King James is pretty good. John 4:3, King James. Every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God.
Yeah.
The spirit of Antichrist, it should come, and even now is already in the world. And so, think about this, and that Jesus is the Son of God. Every pope has said that. They will continue to say that. That's how they deceive people. The spirit of Antichrist. I mean, at least in what this is saying. Then again, I mean, the Pope definitely is an Antichrist because he has a false gospel.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something to think about. Standing that correctly, it could be taken out of context or something. But so there's that. Have in Daniel 7, let's see, Daniel 7:25.
Yeah, is that reference to abomination or desolation?
He's talking about the Antichrist. He has about him. Let's see. I'm gonna look at the surrounding verses. 25th verse, but he shall speak great words against the Most High, shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws.
So you think that's a reference to the Jewish laws and traditions?
Yes, absolutely. The Jews, when the Messiah comes, they will institute these, they call them Noahide laws. They'll institute.
Yeah, Noahide laws. You're against those?
Yeah, it's not a Christian thing. They came up with this Noahide idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole thing that we can get righteous Gentiles into the Israel or something.
Yeah, that is messed up. So works-based salvation, if you think about it. But so that aside, they call them the Noahide laws. I believe the Talmud, passage in the Talmud, it talks about that obey the set of laws. I think there's 7 or 8 laws. Yes. Oh, that's a huge thing. They'd be put to death if they don't. I think the Sabbath is on there, but I know it's that you must worship. Of course, when they say God, they mean their God. So there's that. That very interesting, though. I'll read it again. He shall speak great words against the Most High, and will think to change times and laws. Wow. and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
So you don't think it's a false prophet trying to throw out the sacraments or the Eucharist, or it's clearly Jewish, you're saying?
Yeah, it's talking about the Antichrist, and so, I mean, they don't even have Eucharist anyways. They use unleavened bread. It was always leavened bread, and so I see them even Judaizing things themselves. Since when was it unleavened bread? That was way later. They changed a lot of things. They sprinkle babies. They don't even do anything right. And they're outside the church. They believe in purgatory and a bunch of crazy stuff. But anyways,
Oh yeah, because in the Eastern Eucharist, yeah, I see pictures. It's all leavened bread. You don't have wafers.
Exactly.
That's
yep. So also think that every pope has always confessed with his mouth, heart, but with his mouth that Jesus is the Son of God and stuff like that. So what I see is that big tool for the Antichrist. When the Antichrist comes, he will say, "Look, this is Jesus on earth." We'll try to get everybody in the Roman Catholic Church to believe that. Maybe they'll even declare it dogma. Believe in it to be Roman Catholic because they have so many dogmas and they're so legalistic. Right, and think of all the people that are convinced this is the Church of God. It cannot they say whatever declared dogma is infallibly true. The Pope is infallible when he declares a dogma. So when he declares that to be a dogma, they will all believe in it. And so I really believe that's used for. Obviously, the popes are super wicked. They're universalists, and they even say we shouldn't. They said this at Vatican II, denying that we should not proselytize the Jews because they still have their old covenant with God. They will be saved. How messed up is that, man? Yeah, that's something to think about. He'll change laws and times. The part where it says times, it's possible it means
you don't think there's
something.
I was gonna say that you don't think there's a reference to the old calendars Orthodox Church split from the rest of the Orthodox for doing the Gregorian calendar.
You're cutting out again, by the way, but I kind of heard a little bit of what you're saying. No, I don't think it's referring to old calendar and new calendar. Really not a big deal. It's not like there's really no heresy in a calendar. Observe this calendar or you will be killed. It's not really anything. But let's see what other things do we have about the Antichrist. Daniel 11:21. Let's see what that says. By the way.
Say again?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Another verse, Daniel 11:21. Let's read this. I don't know if this is anything. Okay. Daniel 11:21 and 22. I'm going to read this. Let's see. It's talking about the Antichrist. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom. But he shall come in peaceably and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. Of a flood shall they be overflown from before him and shall be broken, the Prince of the Covenant. Interesting. The entire book of Daniel to figure out what he's talking about exactly, in case I'm kind of reading into it or taking it out of context. But we see just a little bit more of that Jewish language, covenant, and stuff like that. Obviously, a lot of symbolic language with the arms of a flood. They shall be before him and shall be broken. Like, what is he talking about? Very interesting. Shall he return into his land with great riches, and his heart shall be against the holy covenant. He shall do exploits and return to his own land. Therefore he shall be grieved and return and have indignation against the holy covenant. He shall even return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy covenant. Wow, I'm not even trying to do this. This is a lot of stuff. Oh, and then here we see abomination of desolation. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary, and shall stand and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate.
I think it's interesting.
Particularly against the covenant. What's that?
Some people, I don't know how true it is, they say that the Jews have taken over the Catholic Church, and basically it's just another Jewish power that they rule the Catholic Church. I don't know.
Man, you're cutting out pretty badly again. Can you check your internet?
Did you hear what I said?
It was very choppy. I heard what you said. Some people
say that
taking over
the Jews took over the Catholic Church, and the Jews own the popes. Have you ever heard of that?
I have. Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, kind of like they're in everything, basically.
What's interesting that the Cardinals, they have these ramekins, or these hats that look like Jewish hats.
Yeah, they look just like yarmulkes,
Yeah.
or yarmulkes. I noticed that a while ago. Yep. And a lot of the things they do, like the unleavened bread and everything, and they're just extremely crooked. The people in the Roman so-called Catholic Church. But again, I see it as a propaganda tool to help their so-called Messiah. Yeah, we see a lot of that language, daily sacrifice that the Roman Catholics do. It's on Sundays, some Saturdays, but they can do it every day, so doesn't mean that. But abomination that makes desolate, and such as do wickedly against the covenant shall he corrupt by flatteries. But the people that do know their God shall be strong and do exploits. Among the people shall instruct many. Yet they shall fall by the sword and by flame, by captivity. So they're saying the saints will be killed. Warn everybody. More things, some more Jewish language. Stronghold with a strange God. Divide the land from gain. At the time of the end shall the king of the south push at him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a whirlwind. Horsemen, many ships. Kings they are, or who those kings are that you're talking about. We see here it's talking about Egypt, the Libyans, and the Ethiopians, which we saw in one of those church fathers earlier in our last video. was talking about. Like and he shall plant the tabernacles of his palace between of his palace. Huh. Interesting. Well, we got that tabernacle of his palace. He's in the glorious holy mountain. Yet he shall come to his end, and none shall help him. Wow, I wonder if the glorious holy mountain is.
Mount Zion, yeah. I guess not back at home, maybe, I don't know.
You're cutting out, man. Can't hear you all.
No, I was saying maybe Mount Zion.
I can't hear you. Did you say Mount Zion?
Yeah.
I wonder. That's okay. Athos, but Mount Zion maybe sounds a little more correct.
Back in hell, I
I have no idea. Wonder. Let's see if we see anything else. I'm now in Daniel 12 at the very beginning. We could show. Let's see. I'm just scanning through it right now. In 30 days. 1,335.
So, are you familiar with the Daniel 70 weeks prophecy?
Daniel's what?
Daniel's 70th week prophecy.
You say 70th week?
Yeah.
I remember hearing that quite a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in Daniel 9?
Yeah, I think it's before the abomination of the temple.
Let's see. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city. And to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring an everlasting righteousness, to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy. So here it seems like he's talking about a good thing, which we know is Jerusalem. Reconciliation for iniquity and stuff like that, to anoint the most holy, Jesus. Wow, he's saying 70 weeks in Daniel 9. That could be a parallel to the 70 weeks he's talking about with the Antichrist. And then he says, and that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. 7. It says 7 weeks and 62 weeks. Street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Shall be with the flood and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate. Oh, he's talking about Jerusalem and the rebuild, or what do you say, restoring and building Jerusalem.
I've read that.
I never read that before. Wow.
I read that some of the prayers, they think that that's referring to the rebuilding of the second temple and not a third temple. I guess they're wrong.
Yeah, right, because everything else didn't even happen.
Yeah. That was the view some of the early church fathers. They thought they were living the last days, but they weren't.
Right, wow. That's interesting. Man, I've never read that part though. That's pretty interesting. So in Daniel 10, let's see if we see anything, because obviously he's continuing to write. By the way, we did see them that are in Judea, let them run to the whatevers. You know, we see that, again, they're using, that's even the area they referenced, you know, Judea. You know, not Rome or anything, not, you know, whatever. That's something to think about as well. See, what else do we see? I don't see anything in Daniel 10 either. Okay. So we'll go to Daniel 7, see if we got anything, because I think that's another. I think we already read that. 7:24. Oh yeah, 7:25 talks about changing the time. Yeah, well, that's all I got for that. And we will see what happens, man. You know, I'm gonna try to find some more passages, some really compelling ones. But the evidence is mind-blowing, especially in sacred scripture, but also the writings of the church fathers, and we see that it's apostolic.
Yeah.
You know, when we go to it's just kind of a random poet that came up. Not doesn't mean he's wrong, but the apostolic lineage, the same thing was taught, but then from this guy, it wasn't from some other isolated ones, you could say, like people who were not successors. I don't know if any of the successors of the other disciples taught that as well. Let's see if Luke had any disciples. Of disciples.
I'm trying to remember. Mark went to Egypt. I don't know for sure, but he might have a connection with Clement of Alexandria and the early Alexandrian bishops.
Okay. Huh. If I remember correctly, a lot of the Clement of Alexandria writings are questionable. I may be wrong, but I think I remember hearing that, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, he was big into Greek philosophy. He had a lot of weird ideas.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think
that's interesting.
In universalism.
Wow, that's nuts. Crazy.
And he was a Platonist too, supposedly.
Oh, dang.
Like Origin, I think.
Yeah, Origin was definitely far off. Man, I hope to see Origin in heaven. He had so many good things, you know. But I don't know. We'll see.
He's one of those most controversial figures.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but it's just, he has so many good writings, and
that's why there's not an icon with him, I guess.
I saw one online. It said like Saint Origin or something like that. I was just like, why? Why would you say that?
Well, I saw some before of Martin Luther. They're not even recognized. Like Saint Martin Luther.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Or Saint John Calvin or Saint Ulrich Zwingli.
Right, Saint Cyrus Schofield. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, that's a crazy one.
Unheggy, you know.
Right worse yet, Saint Adolf Hitler.
Oh man,
that'd be so messed up.
That'd be messed up. Yeah.
Or Netanyahu. Or Trump.
Right, Saint Trump. Saint Netanyahu. right? Saint Clinton, you know. So, so I can't find any disciples of Saint Luke either. Let's look at
You
the
should try
apostles'
looking
disciples.
at Thomas or Thaddeus. Those are interesting ones. I don't know any bishops personally right now that descend from them, but I think they're interesting apostles.
Say Thomas. What did you say?
Yeah, Thomas who went to India.
Okay, wait. Saint Thomas in the Bible?
Yeah, the apostle.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he went to India.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's where the
who?
you familiar with the St. Thomas Christians, where the Malin Power Church?
Oh, oh. What is that?
I'm surprised you never heard of them. That's one of the oldest rites of. I think they're an Eastern church. I think, or maybe I don't know. I thought you heard of them.
Thomas Christians?
Yeah, they're from India. They speak
Huh.
Syriac. Their liturgy is in Syriac.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Okay. You should look into them. They're interesting.
Will, thanks. So I'm trying to find the apostles' disciples. Let's see. Disciples of Jesus Christ.
I think James would be a good one.
James, disciples of James.
James the Bishop of Jerusalem. I keep forgetting who came after him.
James. Let's see if he had any disciples.
I was reading about some of them, I think, last year when Eusebius church history, but I forgot who the names were.
Okay. Canonical Jesus disciples. Disciples asked Jesus. Find. Going to look at first century. See which one was a successor of the disciples, and we'll try to find some more apostolic teaching on the Antichrist.
I just looked up the bishops of Jerusalem, going back to James, and supposedly the one after James, his name is Simeon the First.
Okay.
I have to look at it. Maybe there's some writings of his on the Antichrist. I don't know.
The first of Bulgaria? Wait, no, this is not the guy. Oops. Simeon the First. Simeon the First, high priest. No, that's not it. High priest in the temple. James.
I'm reading right here. He encountered a lot of Judaizers. That makes a lot of sense because in Acts 15 we read about in the Jerusalem church, even in James' day, there were a lot of Judaizers.
Interesting. Okay.
Like the Ebionites and the Nazarenes and the Ecclesites were a bunch of Judaizers.
bet. Okay, so I can't find any.
Yeah, I'm here. Many of these guys we don't know much about. I mean, there's only so many writings we have today. That's why I wish I was born back then. I could speak face to face with these people.
Right, man.
Sometimes I just say the same thing. I wish I was with Paul right now. He'd answer all my thousands of questions in the world.
That'd be amazing.
All my millions of questions.
Oh, hey, something to think about also. When we see in Matthew 24, when it's talking about the Antichrist, let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains and so on, then it says, pray that your flight may not be in winter or on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
Then there will be great tribulation. Flight won't be on the Sabbath. There will be great tribulation. Unless those days were shortened, no flesh would be saved. For the elect's sake, those days will be shortened.
There's no rapture mentioned either.
Right, yeah, that's at the very end. Pre-trib rapture. It's possible it's saying that, pray that your flight won't be on the Sabbath, putting to death people that work on the Sabbath. Why would we pray that our flight's not on the Sabbath? Like, what's the point of praying? What does it matter? The law's been fulfilled. We don't have to observe the Sabbath, but who is forcing us to observe the Sabbath? So that's something to think about, man. It says, because there'll be great tribulation. Saints on earth. That's huge, actually. Because, like, Jesus, what do you mean, pray that our flight's not on the Sabbath? The Sabbath is fulfilled. It is, but they're going to reinforce it again.
I think originally the apostles, they were keeping all the Jewish laws until later on in Acts 15, when they didn't have to do anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting. I don't know. So the faithful and the evil servant. Evil servant. No one knows the day or the hour. 3. Okay, so here's what we have. 3. Now learn this parable from the fig tree. When its branch has already become tender and puts forth leaves, you know that summer is near. So when we see the signs, the temple's built, and these things actually happen, and the Jewish Antichrist comes, if that's it. Right. Right, yeah. But yeah, at least, we know that.
After the signs, of course.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, let's say you continue to believe that the Pope will be the Antichrist or something, but you see the third temple build and the sacrifice and their so-called Messiah who runs the world, then you could say, all right, I believe it now. He's controlling the world and stuff like that. Scary, man. Is let's see if we got anything in Luke 21. Ooh, wow. It's talking about the end in Luke 21. And it says, you will see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Thereof. in Jerusalem. It quotes what Jesus. Oh wait, this is Jesus talking in Luke 21. Judea, flee to the mountains, and yeah, just like what we just quoted. Let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Let not them in the countries there too. These be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Woe that are them, woe unto them that are with child. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people, upon Jerusalem, if it's in Rome. Think about that. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. Gentiles be fulfilled.
You think, I think the Pope has to be involved because he's a Gentile.
Yeah,
Maybe it's going to be a papal crusade again with the Muslims and the Catholics all again.
Well, you know, if it's against the Antichrist, I guess that'd be fine. You know, if he's fighting the Antichrist, we want a bunch of people from the area. But then it says you'll see the Son of Man. So it's going to be in Jerusalem. It says it again, Jerusalem. Only see Jerusalem, and you know, think about this. We only see Jerusalem in the Bible. Christ in the kingdom. We never see Rome even once. That's something to think about. You know, it's like symbolically talk about Rome, but it never actually says Rome. Say Jerusalem countless times, you know, countless number of times.
Yeah, clearly Jerusalem will have a big part.
Right. And then she'll see this coming of the Son of Man. Okay, then right after this, boom, coming of the Son of Man. When you see these things happen, your redemption draws nigh.
So that must mean that there are some literal passages in the book of Revelation in reference to
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. To the seven churches and blah blah blah. Like obviously it's literal. You know, he's writing that letter to those churches. Yep. And
yeah, the dispensation was they divide the seven churches into seven different dispensation ages, which is nonsense. You know, like right now we're in the age of Pergamus church or something like that. It's something as stupid as like the astrologers, they say we're in the age of Aquarius. Some kind of stupidity.
Right. That's a good way to think about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Strange, man. Wow. So that is right there again. We see Jerusalem, and this is Saint Luke. We see Daniel. We see Matthew. Saint Luke. It's in Second Thessalonians, I believe, correctly. But yeah, only stuff about Jewish stuff. Only stuff about Jerusalem. Nothing about Roman Empire that I don't even think it exists at this time. If I remember correctly, or I'm forgetting. Way off on that one, but let's see. Luke 22 now. Okay, no, this is something else. Okay, he's not talking about that anymore. So there's that. And Acts 17, you brought that up earlier.
Verse 29 and 24, I think.
Got another thing to get. Oh yeah, that's right. Good memory.
God doesn't dwell in temples.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's see if I want to go to Google. See if anything pops up if I just type a few keywords. So I looked up Jewish Antichrist verses. Just maybe something will pop up on YouTube if anyone else is
That's interesting.
fun there. The rise and fall of the Antichrist. Let's see what this says. Version. We stand against God and His anointed one, Jesus Christ. So it does say that the Antichrist will stand against God and His anointed one, Jesus Christ. The Pope doesn't do that. He says Jesus is God, and so he'd be the first Pope to say Jesus isn't God. Just remains the Pope as a propaganda figure, and the Messiah of the Jews come. He could tell people this is Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
On earth, this 1,000-year reign in Jerusalem.
I know that Pope Francis, he is saying some really radical stuff, though. Like, he's saying that you can be saved now through praying to Mary and not Jesus. So I think that sounds like a very antichrist
It's interesting.
mentality.
Okay. Mary can pray for us, but yeah, it's possible he's saying like Mary will save us or something.
Yeah, he says that you can go to Mary, you can pray to her alone, and without having to see Jesus, you can just be saved through Mary. There's one of his encyclicals.
Was Pope Francis, you said?
Yeah. You go look it up.
Okay. All right. Oh. Interesting. So, yeah, what's interesting also, John 5:43, talking to the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
I've come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in his own name, you will receive him. Is that pretty prophetic?
Yeah, sounds like it.
Receive him. It kind of sounds like he's saying, because they still expect a Messiah, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And he's gonna be a Jew because that's what the prophecies say. How could the Jews possibly receive him as a Messiah? Right. I'm reading something right now.
Certainly a chance.
Sure. Okay, so not sure what this is supporting exactly. I'm just scanning through it right now. Unless if I missed some verses or if anybody. So it looks like they don't with that idea. Oh, this is a false. Oh, wow. This is a bad website anyways. I didn't even realize it. It's called Lamb and Lion Ministries.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that before. It's been a while since
Okay.
I checked it out.
Yeah, I think this is a very heretical Zionist ministry. Okay, yeah. So of course they're gonna have some bias in this. I didn't even look at the website. I just started reading it. Landed on that part when I started. That gave me a verse. I don't even think they realize what it says. His own name, you will receive him. So, yeah, and it's funny. It doesn't even say lamb and lion in the Bible. It says wolf and or lamb and a wolf.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where they got that idea from. They think it's like a Mandela effect or something. You ever heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't understand that one, man. But You'll reject all the you'll worship. Ah, man. Some of these people really read into the text.
Oh yeah, happens all the time.
Like, well, let me look at this one
You gotta
verse.
take their lenses off.
Oh, wow. I don't know how they came up with this. They're against the whole Jewish idea. They think it's going to be the Roman Empire. It says Daniel 11:40, light of the Antichrist's head is of the revived Roman Empire, and it will be challenged. It doesn't say anything like that. I don't know how they came up with that. The king of the south will push at him. The king of the north, him. King of the north and of the south will come against the Antichrist. Think about a revived Roman Empire. What are they doing?
That was the view of Commodianus. He said Nero would come back.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Might be resurrection of that theory.
Interesting. So I'm looking at the website. These are people who have heard new ideas and they read it into it and they say, look, this verse supports it. Yeah, it may support your idea, but it doesn't say your idea. Fit in with your idea, but there's nothing even explicit in there. So I think that's really something big, though, to think about. It never says a single thing about Rome, but it says a lot about Jerusalem, a lot about the temple, a lot about covenant, and so on. It says Sabbath a couple times. That's all I got for that. What else do we got? Any more scripture? Think about this also, that even some of the themselves Christians will be deceived. And, I'd say Protestants mainly. There's no chance that the Protestants are going to start saying, oh, look, the Pope, he's Jesus, The Roman Catholic Church, they're very against it. That's what it is to be a Protestant, to be Romophobic, So that's something to consider. However, they are Zionist and they are told to and support Israel, which is a heresy. It's a new idea.
Yeah,
They believe in a literal
Zionists, but many are still becoming it.
Sure. But I'd say the majority support Israel in America.
The evangelical crowd do.
Right. I mean, even just necessarily say they're Zionists and they are very theological, but the conservatives in America identify as Christian. They are Protestant, and they all support Israel blindly. Tricked in the end. However, we do have the Zionists and dispensationalists who believe in a 1,000-year reign after. They believe that Jesus will reign for 1,000 years on earth.
There are two really church fathers who did believe in a literal millennial kingdom.
I'm aware of that.
It was Papias and Irenaeus.
Irenaeus?
Yeah, I think he believed in a millennial kingdom like Papias.
Oh,
I could send you the quotes later. It's in Eusebius's church history.
Okay, yeah, when you can, please send me Irenaeus' quote.
Yeah, they believe in a millennial kingdom, but they didn't believe in a pre-trib rapture. They believe in a post-trib resurrection.
Okay, right. So, all right, I'll have to look into the Irenaeus one. I don't know. Let's see if it's in context too, of course, because that's really interesting. Let's see, who's the Antichrist? What do we do? Well, that's all I can find. Look and look and look another time. Gather as much as I can. Yeah. Also, we see the world working for Israel, and like the United Nations created Israel with the Rothschilds and all these other people. The Balfour Declaration, Lord Balfour, and Rothschild, and brought Israel in, and it's all fulfilling their prophecies. It's amazing how it's doing it. Scary, scary, amazing is what I mean. Like mind blowing. Something to think about as well, and we just don't see anything from Rome.
Well, I think the Vatican helps help Israel as well, and they do actually personally fund Israel.
Oh wow, that's interesting. Also another thing to think about: we don't see any of the writings saying that the bishop of Rome is the Antichrist.
Yeah,
Instead, it's the emperor. But
well, I think later on the Caesars mixed in with the Roman bishop after Constantine, if you know what I mean.
So what I was gonna conclude with that was that if you believe that the Antichrist is going to be the Pope, then you must just speculate and say that at some point they kind of won it, and the Rome became the Roman Emperor. But it's just historical. It's not. You just gotta kind of assume that that was the case, and you know what I mean. So just try to think about that. Watching the High Church Anglican. Know him?
Yeah, I'm friends with him.
Okay, interesting. Cool. But looks like that's it. That's all I got. My screen. I've exited all my tabs. A lot of things. A lot of things out there supporting a Jewish Antichrist. I just don't see much for the Roman thing. We see, like the couple of the early church fathers. And a couple people before Christianity was liberated. So maybe a little bit of bias, and it wasn't the apostolic teaching.
Yeah, it could be true. Yeah.
That's why we see the idea of the Pope being an Antichrist. It blew up by the Protestants.
It was believed by others before the Reformation, like the Albigensians and the Waldensians. They did believe he was the whore of Babylon, mentioned Revelation 18:4. Those ideas existed long before the Reformation and by early church fathers.
Yeah, but they're still Protestant,
Yeah, theologically.
Like they protested the so-called church. That's Protestant. Of course, they're not Protestants who stem from the Reformation. before that, and then there was the Protestant Reformation where they actually had a big revolution, like a movement. I'm assuming it was a very small thing, and it is today as well. Like no one really knows who they are. But we could have like small Protestant sects throughout history. But and again, they have bias because what was going on back then, it was very bad in the Roman so-called church. Crooked stuff, killings, and indulgences, and I see through that lens as well. But when we see no bias, it's talking about a Jewish Antichrist. Jews were persecuting the Christians at that time. They didn't even have Israel. They were.
In the early church, the Christians were being persecuted not only by the Romans but Jews. So I think it's both. I mean, the Jews and like in the Book of Acts, the Jews were stoning to death Stephen and the early martyrs. And later on, the Romans did the same. I think it's
okay, but what year was that though? It was before 70 A.D.
Yeah. Well, even after the temple was destroyed,
scattered.
Jews and Romans continued to persecute Christians, not just one or the other.
Scattered across the earth, fulfilling a prophecy. Said, or was it Jesus? I forgot, but
I think Jesus said it.
Okay. So, 1948, obviously. But yeah, so just something to think about. Guess we'll look for more stuff. It's an interesting topic. I really wonder what the mark of the beast is. That is something that I just really want to know.
Yeah, somebody seems. I wish I knew the answer to. Like I said earlier, we had to speak face to face with prophets or the apostles.
Right, man.
The best catechism class ever in history would be in the original catechism classes of the apostles.
Dang, man, I know.
Yeah, well,
That would have been nice.
I'm really missing out.
Right, same. I think that's a clue in 1 Kings 10:14, I believe, where it said, the other time where that, the other time where that number 666 occurs in the Bible, and could be a clue. Maybe St. John was referencing that number because of.
Who knows? Maybe Solomon might be a figure of the future Antichrist. So who knows? Maybe the Antichrist will be like a neo-Solomon figure.
Or possible, or what I was thinking was just maybe what the 666 talents. Maybe that has to, talents of gold. Maybe that has to do. It later tells what Solomon did with the talents of gold.
Yeah, because Solomon.
I'd like to read all of it.
Solomon was seen as a wise person. He was loved by his audience, and later on they find out his dark side. I think the same's going to happen with the Antichrist. The world's going to love the Antichrist, but then just like that, in a second, he's going to turn the world polar opposite.
Wow, that's
something to think about.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Huh. So I wonder. I really wonder if Solomon is in heaven, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder sometimes.
I really want to know. We do. And with Origin, yeah, because even Origin, he was a pagan. He became a Christian, but then he kind of fell back into paganism.
Too. He became a modernist.
Oh, did he fall into heresy?
Yeah, he became a modernist.
Oh.
I like Titian the Syrian. He was a disciple of. He was a
looks like Tertullian was not a saint. I don't think. I can't anything on him. To read his writings, his modernist writings. Or what? Not sure. Anyways, man, it's getting late over here. I should probably let you go.
Yeah,
We've been talking for a decent amount of time.
Yeah.
Patient, I'd say, though. You know.
There's a lot of stuff we covered here. I learned a lot.
Yeah. Nice. Me too, actually. You know, even though I was talking for a lot of the time, I found out some things I didn't know before. Yeah, our next conversation, we can choose something cool. I might look into the number of the beast a little more and maybe the mark and try to get an idea.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I believe we have the clues in somewhere. And I'll look in the writings of the church fathers about the number 666. I know there are a lot of writings about that.
Yeah, I'll send you
Let's see if we have any.
I'll send you a link of Eusebius on the early fathers like Papias, who they were pre-millennial believers of the millennial kingdom.
Okay, yeah, please. Yeah, if Irenaeus really said something, I'd want to see that.
But that being said, they were not dispensationalists.
Right, of course. Oh, man.
That came to being by John Nelson Darby, and that happened 1,800 years later.
Exactly. Yep. And but that was blown up in the Schofield Bible, so-called Bible, and all that Zionism. Oh, dang! It's sad, but I'm so glad you woke up, man. It's just, I heard that the original Schofield Bible channel on YouTube is called True News. Really good channel. You should subscribe. But talk about the temple and stuff like that. I just realized. I forgot about that. The third temple. But as the first edition of the Schofield Bible, extremely blasphemous things in there, just damnable heresies, like satanic things. I think it even says like Jesus lied and Jesus had a daughter. So I forgot exactly. I don't remember.
You know, that sounds very Gnostic. If you really said that, that's what the Gnostics taught. That Jesus had a wife, Mary Magdalene. I think that's in the Gnostic Gospel of Mary Magdalene.
That's right.
That Jesus had kids.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't want to slander, anybody. So I forgot exactly what it said, but it just said some crazy stuff, and he has a video on that. Okay, yeah, we'll probably tomorrow. Man, good talking to you. Good conversation, and we will plan our next time. Okay. All right. Good night, man.